Louie Gohmert. Congressman Gohmert, thank you so much for joining us on part of your weekend. We appreciate it.
We're great to be with you, Heather, always.
So I want to ask you first about what transpired in the House, and were you surprised that 35 Republicans crossed over and voted in favor of this commission?
Yeah, I was surprised at that number, Heather, because it was a third of that voted for impeachment, and so I was surprised how many came along. Now, the thing is, we would welcome a truly bipartisan commission to look at this. But we have seen too much since January 6th. We've seen too many lies coming out of leadership on the other side. We've seen too many false assertions. You know, we were told it was this big armed insurrection, and they still overplay what it was. They still overplay what happened. They still refuse to admit that there were any anti-Trumpers that came and helped create problems. Yeah, there were people that were radically right, but we need a fair look at it.
Right.
And if the Democrats in the House are in charge of getting this set up, we saw their hand when they said, we will pick all the staff members. Heck, we saw that like Benghazi Commission, some of the stuff Boehner set up, because he picked the staff and he made sure they weren't going to come to any conclusions that, because as Paul Ryan used to say as Speaker, when there's no drama, we win. Well, we know that's not true, but that's the way they approach things. And this Speaker, she wants to control everything. And you can go back to her firing John Dingell as chairman of Energy and Commerce, just to see how radical her control is.
Yeah, before we go back to that, though, let's turn now to what Senator McCarthy had to say on about January 6th and Pelosi specifically that you were just talking about, if we can pull this up.
This Pelosi commission that we tried to work on for quite some time. Remember, I asked Pelosi for one on January 13th. She spent 4 months just playing politics with it. In that time period, an officer got killed on Good Friday just across with this Capitol. She didn't want to have the scope to do that as well. I just felt we're going to have 4 things happening right now. You've got 2 committees in the Senate already doing their investigation. I believe in 2 weeks they'll already have their report back, even though Pelosi wasted all this time.
So what is it that Democrats are really after?
They're after the politics. They're thinking this may be their way to avoid the catastrophe that's coming because of their outrageous socialist agenda that has killed jobs. All the things that you've said in the segments before, Heather, they're trying to avoid the consequences of that. And they think by having this commission that they refuse to look into anything that might expose the left for their craziness, so that they can come out right before the election with some big statement blaming all the right-wing crazy Republicans, and they think that will save the majority. That is their strategy going into 2022.
Yeah, and keep the former president first and foremost in the minds of everyone watching, and then possibly try to fundraise off of that.
Yep, exactly. Yeah, you know what's being played here, Heather. You're exactly right.
Yeah, but then at the other side of it, and I think you've already answered this though, because I was wondering, I have my own questions. You know, what was going on behind the scenes? Who was making the calls, not sending in the extra help that was needed inside the Capitol at the time? But to get to those answers, you don't think that this commission would be fair in searching that out?
No, it's not. It won't be. And they've already said by showing they're going to pick all the staff and they will not allow any inquiries that might make the left look bad. But we know, I mean, I played in judiciary hearing the video of John Sullivan. Yes. He hated Trump. And he was in there stirring things up in the Capitol.
He's completely disappeared. That's a whole nother story that we could talk about. Why he was in there, who was paying him to be in there, and where is he now? And what other riots was he at?
Congressman, well, Julie Kelly coming
Yeah.
up, and nobody has done more research than Julie has. She's been just
And
a stalwart on this.
Yeah, we have Julie coming up next. Congressman Gohmert, thank you very much for joining us. So we
Thank
appreciate it.
you. Thank